They're up 42%, by the way, since Apple's own low.
Yep.
This is a great sign for the rally, no?
Well,
it used to say as goes
Apple goes
so
the market.
goes the
I think
market.
a little bit less of that, though, over time. We've seen a little bit less of that, Scott. But, I mean, obviously, this has been a great run by Apple, and a lot of it is because I think the focus did come away from phones, and people are looking at all the other areas where Apple has all this strength and where they're growing. They're also looking at China and thinking, hey, you know what? When they did finally alter the pricing, those phones weren't what they once were. They were now suddenly touchable. They were untouchable at the prices they had, and then suddenly they started selling the phones again. So you look at wearables, you look at services, and then all of a sudden there's another area I think that you're going to want to start paying more attention to, AI. That's something that Apple's doing as well. And as that starts to come out, and I'm talking like 6-9 months, maybe a year out, we're going to start hearing more and more about AI.
Okay, Doc. Apple Target today raised to $225 at Wedbush.
Love it.
Remember Pete's favorite analyst, Katie Huberty.
There she is.
Katie Huberty, Morgan Stanley.
She's been right.
Yesterday.
Boy, she's right.
Talking up the healthcare aspect.
Exactly.
Of Apple as still an underappreciated area of growth for Apple.
I think she is exactly right on there. That's a big shock. It's my biggest holding, as you know. I'm happy about that because this is one of those drivers to outperformance, to alpha, Judge. And Ms. Huberty is exactly right that the healthcare side of Apple's business, what they can provide as far as data and all the rest to the healthcare industry is going to be huge. And the more people, the more of us that have any of their products on our person, which would include cell phones, not just watches and things like that, that is immense for Apple. And that data is just like manna from heaven for the folks that either want to insure or make sure that you stay healthier.
Okay. Farmer Giorgio.
That he looks good. Look at him.
Look at Jimmy.
Yeah, the guy. He's got a model.
The skinny tie rocking and everything. This is the new and improved Farmer Jim.
Looks great.
I'll call you Giorgio for the rest of the show. Armani. Lack of transparency. Who cares? Guidance. Who cares? Right? That's how the stock market's been reacting. Apple's 202. Right now.
So, look, I'm listening to what the brothers Najarian have said, and I agree there are things here, whether it's the services, healthcare, everything that is possibly pushing this to a higher multiple than it currently has. But that multiple around 15.5, 16 times right now has traditionally for the last several years been resistance. It really hasn't gotten above that. So here's the yin and the yang. Yes, maybe the services are going to propel it to a higher multiple, but on the other hand, you've got 5G coming out, and it's very clear that Apple has not been on the forefront of getting 5G phones out there. A lot of reasons for that. Maybe it's the dispute with Qualcomm, but they're late to the 5G party, and we need more iPhones to support those services. I'm still in the stock, Scott, okay?
I know you are. I know you are.
I'm in there, but
Judge Capital Management tried to get you in at sub 150, but that's okay.
I know you like it when I say you were right, so I say you were right. But here's the thing. I'm just going to add a splash of realism here, that if the iPhone user base doesn't grow, the rest of the argument gets a little shaky. So I really would like to see those 5G phones starting to get promoted.
Steph, what do you make of sort of this whole conversation, what Apple means to the overall market as you look at what has really been an explosion higher by what is once again now the most valuable stock in the world?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the Apple move is Apple specific, though. I mean, I would like to say it translates into the market as a whole, as it builds confidence for the overall market. But there's a lot of good things. There's a lot of ways to win with Apple. They have a 1.4 billion installed base. And so to the extent that they can use the services revenue and see that grow 17, 18, 19% per year, you're going to go from 18% of total revenues to probably 25% over the coming years. And what's important about that is it has 61% margins versus the devices, which only have 33% margins. So that's why you're going to see multiple expansion. And that's why I think you're going to see earnings continue to move higher. But I don't think it's just services. I do think it is also healthcare. I think it's also Apple Music, by the way, which doesn't get any love at all. And I think that those are really powerful drivers for the stock overall.